This is the Woods DDP tutorial for the Hand Tools box drawing sheets. I'm going to begin by going to Open. I'm going to select on my The Real Eastridge Border blank title block. If I'm not in the right folder, I can come up here to Look In and click the appropriate folder. I'm going to select Open. Here's my blank title block. I'm going to begin by placing my part in here. So I'm going to select Base. I'm going to select this button right here with the magnifying glass and folder on to open my file. I'm going to select box side first, and then make sure that I'm in the appropriate folder. If I'm not, I can come up here in the look in and select here to get me to that location. I'm going to select open. Right now I'm looking at the front of it. What I actually want to see is I want to see the dado. So I'm going to come over here to my view cube and I'm going to turn it so that my 3 fingers are on the left side. So if I select this little triangle to the right, you'll see me rotate. And you can see that I have my 3 fingers on my left. I'm going to move this to the lower left. I'm going to let go with my mouse, and then I'm going to move my mouse up, select the top view, move to the right, select the isometric, move down to select the side view. Once I have these 4 views, I'm going to select OK. I'm then going to change the title block. So down here, I'm going to fill in this information. When I hover over this, if I press escape on my keyboard, if I right click or if I hover over this isometric right here, I get these dotted lines. I'm going to right click on the dotted line and I'm going to select open. It's going to open my IPT file. I'm going to go to File, iProperties, Summary, and I'm going to change author to your name. So you are going to put your name in here, all capitals, first and last name. You're going to change company to Woods DDP, all capitals. You're then going to select project. You're going to change the part number to all capitals, box side. And then you're going to change the designer to your full name, first and last, all capitals. And then you're going to go to physical. And you're going to change the material to wood maple. So you're going to scroll down to wood maple. You're then going to click apply and then close. And then you're going to press the save icon. You're going to come down here to the Real Eastridge Border tab. And you can see that everything is filled in on the bottom title block. I'm then going to zoom in on my front view here. And I'm going to first put an overall dimension on this. So I'm going to select annotate, dimension. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to grab the left side of my furthest part. I'm going to zoom out, zoom in on the right side, and select the farthest part on my left over here. So you see I have to zoom in a little bit to make sure I grab this. And then I'm going to bring this up until it snaps above it. I'm then going to do the overall height of this object. So I'm going to grab the bottom of my part, staying on dimension. Then I'm going to come up to the top of my part, and then I'm going to bring this over, and I'm actually going to pull this one out farther because I need to put a dimension inside here. So I'm going to come out to this snap. If I zoom in on this location down here, I need to identify this area right here. So I'm first going to select the bottom of my overall part to the bottom of this finger, and I'm going to move over until this snaps. Then I'm going to dimension from the end of this finger to the inside of the finger. So make sure you don't select any of these green dots, but you want to select this line. And then I'm going to bring this down. And now I have a little confusion over here with my numbers, which I'm going to come back to and fix that. I'm going to come over here to the left side, and I'm going to dimension the overall height of this finger. So I'm going to grab the bottom of my part to the top of the finger. Bring this out to the left till it snaps. And then I'm also going to tell the depth of this finger. So I'm going to grab, not the green dot, but grab the side of my part here. And then I'm going to grab the inside of the finger here. And then I'm going to bring this down until it snaps. In this area right here, I'm going to fix. So I'm going to right click OK. And if I come over here to grab this value, so this 1/2 that belongs to this line, I can click and drag that over to the right. And then I can click and drag this up. Same with over here. I'm going to pan over to this side. I'm going to click and drag this to the left, and I'm going to click and drag this to the top. I'm then going to write a note down here about these fingers. So I'm going to select text, and I'm just going to click once in this lower left corner. And in this text, I'm going to write note, colon, space, finger, joint, dimension are typical. What this means is that this 1/2 inch in and out are the same for all of them. If I have a little too much of this is a little too close, I'm going to right click OK, and I can grab the dotted line of my part here and I can move this up a little bit. And then I can do the same with this. I can move this to a better place. I'm then going to go back to dimension, and I'm going to zoom in on the top view here, and I'm going to select just this line that you see here, and I'm going to give the overall thickness of the part. So I come over till it snaps, zoom out, I'm going to right click OK and drag this number down. For the side view, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use a detail view. So I'm going to move him in a little bit, and I'm going to come up here to Place Views tab, and I'm going to select Detail. When I select detail, I need to select the view that I want the detail to be of. So I'm going to select the side view. Then I'm going to change view identifier to a capital A. And I'm going to click right in the middle of this square once. And it's going to start a circle. And you're going to see that I'm just going to come out here so that I see this whole circle. Select, and it gives me the zoomed in detailed view. So I'm going to come over here to the right. Select here. I'm then going to right click, or I'm then going to press escape on my keyboard, and I can drag this detail word above my part, which gives me room to dimension down here. I'm going to switch back to annotate, click dimension, and I'm going to give the depth of this first. So I'm going to click the front of the dado to the back of the dado. So I zoom in here to find the back of the dado. And then I'm going to drag this down until it snaps. I'm going to right click OK and pull this dimension to the right. Go back to dimension. I'm going to click the bottom of the side view to the bottom of the dado. Come over here to the right until it snaps. I'm actually going to come out a little bit more. And then I'm going to tell you the depth or the thickness of the dado. So I'm going to click the bottom of the dado to the top of the dado, bring that over, and to move this, I'm going to right click OK and drag the 1/8 inch up. That's the completion of the box side. I'm going to do my next view, which is going to be my bottom. So I'm going to come over here to the browser bar on the left here, and I'm going to right click in this open space. I'm going to get off of dimension. Press escape on my keyboard. I'm going to come over here on the left and right click, and I'm going to do new sheet. I'm going to select OK to this, and now I have a new sheet here. I'm going to place the bottom in. So I place views, base. I'm going to select my file with the magnifying glass, find my bottom, select open. I'm going to move this to the lower left, and this time I'm going to do 3 views. So I'm going to move up to the top view, click, move to the isometric, click, and then select OK. I'm then going to fill in this information. So I'm going to hover over my isometric, right click on the dotted line, open. It's going to open my file, File, iProperties, click on Summary. change the author to your name, your first and last name, all capitals. Change the company to Woods DDP. You're going to select project. You're going to change the part number to all capital bottom. You're going to change the designer to your name, first and last name, all capitals. And then you're going to go to physical and you're going to change material, scroll down to wood maple. And then you're going to click apply and close. Press the save icon. Go back to your Eastridge border. Everything should be filled in on the bottom. This view only requires 3 dimensions. So I'm going to go to annotate, dimension. I'm going to grab the right side of my part, bring this over till the first snap. Then I'm going to click the top of my part, bring it up until it snaps. Then I'm going to zoom in on my top view, click this right side line, zoom out a little bit, go till it snaps. I'm going to right click OK and drag the 1/8 inch dimension down. And that's the completion of the bottom. Come over here in the white again on the browser bar. I'm going to right click, new sheet, select OK to that. And we're going to place the insert in here. So I'm going to go to place view, base, select the magnifying glass file button, select insert, open. We're going to move this to the lower left, move up, select the top view, move over to the right and select the isometric, select OK. I'm then going to hover over the isometric on the dotted line, right click, open, go to File, iProperties. In iProperties, I'm going to go to Summary. I'm going to change author to your name, your first and last name, all capitals. Change the company to Woods DDP capitals. Go to Project, change part number to Insert, all capitals. Change designer to your name, first and last name, capitals, and then go to physical, select material up here, wood, and go down to wood maple. And then you're going to select apply and close, press the save icon, go back down to the real Eastridge border. Everything should be filled in. Again, this one requires 3 dimensions, so we're going to select annotate, dimension, select the right side of my insert, come over to the first snap, click, select the top of my insert, bring it up to the first snap, click, zoom in on the top view, select the right side of that top view, move out till it snaps. Then I'm going to right click OK, drag my 1/4 inch dimension down. And that's the completion of the insert. And then lastly, I'm going to bring in my top. So I'm going to come over here to the left, right click on this open white space, click new sheet, OK. Select place views, base. You're going to select the magnifying glass file button, and you're going to grab your top, select open. You want to make sure that your chamfers are visible, so you can see my chamfers are visible in this view. I'm going to move this over to the bottom left. Again, 3 views. I'm going to click up here to the top, and then my isometric, and then select OK. If you look at mine, my isometric is over my title block here, so I'm actually going to move this. I can move this down. I'm then going to go to hover over this isometric, right click, open, go to File, iProperties. I'm going to change the summary. Author is going to be your name, first and last name, all capitals. Company is going to be Woods DDP. Select the Projects tab. Part number needs to be top, all capitals. Designer is going to be your first and last name, all capitals. Select physical. Change the material down here to wood maple. Select apply and close. Press the save icon. Go back to your Eastridge border. Everything should be filled in on the bottom. You're then going to go to annotate, click dimension. Make sure that you're clicking the right side of your top in the front view here. Make sure you're clicking the right side here. And then you're going to move over to the first snap. Make sure you're clicking the top. Move up to the first snap. And then this one requires 1 extra dimension. So to get the thickness of this object, we're actually going to click the back side of the top view here, and then the front of the top view. and then I can bring this over, and you can see there's my 3/4 mark. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a chamfer dimension on this. So I'm going to select chamfer. And to do chamfer, you're first going to select your angle and then the bottom flat. And then you can see here that chamfer comes in. I'm going to select this right here. I'm going to right click OK. I'm then going to make sure on down here, I'm going to select the furthest green dot. That allows me to move my chamfer dimension to the right. And then I'm going to drag the 3/4 down. And this is the completion of your dimension sheets for the Hand Tools Box project.